The Heart of the Civil War Heritage Area Group had a very fine evening. I guess it was last Tuesday evening, had a reception, an annual meeting, and time to share and acknowledge all their hard work for the past year and what they do for our community and what their participation is. So Heart of the Civil War Heritage Area, very fine group of people, and they put a lot of hard work into that, and it was a nice evening. So again, there's probably more, but a lot happening in our community. A lot of good things happening in our community. Upcoming events, 2024 Capitol Christmas Tree is this evening at 5:30. The Christmas tree, I think, is coming from Alaska.
Yeah.
Traveling all the way across the country by truck. It will be stopping as part of its tour before it gets to Washington tomorrow in South Potomac Street in front of the Maryland Theater at 5:30 today. And I know that they're going to have banners on it where you can sign. We have ornaments maybe to put on the tree or send with the tree. So I'm sure it'll be a big deal. 2025 Pre-Legislative Forum, HCC, Wednesday at 7 a.m. That's where commissioners will be meeting with the delegation and reviewing our requests for this upcoming session. Also, the 22nd Annual Economic Summit is Wednesday, tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. at Fountainhead Country Club, and we get an annual update on projections of both past and upcoming economic development, and we have the honor of Anirban Basu, basically nationally recognized economist, is always the guest speaker, so that's always a good evening. So with that, commissioners, have we missed anything? Hearing no remarks, next we'll move into staff comments, and first up on staff comments is Chip Rose.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have 4 items for you this morning. First off, staff is seeking a motion to approve the offer to Sean Harbaugh for position number 816. This is the Transit Director's position. It's a grade 17, step 15, at an hourly rate of $54.37 an hour. It would be effective November the 9th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second on the floor for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you.
Second item, staff is requesting a motion to approve the offer to Brandy Noggle for position 118. This is the Purchasing Director's position. It's a grade 16, step 18, an hourly rate of $54.67 an hour. It would be effective November the 9th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Staff seeks a motion to approve the offer to Victor Scarpelli for position number 1798. This is the Assistant County Attorney's position. It is a grade 17, step 5, an hourly rate of $42.48 an hour. It would be effective November the 25th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
No, and let me just say it's not about the candidate. It's about that I believe our legal staff department should be fixed at 3 for budgetary reasons.
Okay, 4-1.
Last item, staff seeks a motion to approve the offer to Mark Lawman for position number 931. This is the Project Manager's position in water quality. It is a grade 13, step 7, at an hourly rate of $34.97 an hour. You'll be effective on December the 9th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all that I have for you this morning.
Okay, thank you, Chip. Next, Dave Hayes.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Hayes, Director of Emergency Services.
Eric Jacobs, Assistant Director of Emergency Services.
Commissioners, we're here last week. As I think most know, we spent 4 days out in Appleton, Wisconsin, going through the final inspection for the 3 county reserve engines that were approved about 30 months ago. We expect delivery of those in the next 30 to 45 days, but as always and pretty much expected, as you go through these things, you find things that were just not able to be seen as you start the development, certainly as the vehicle starts to materialize. Specifically, we're here today to ask for a budget adjustment of, or to a change to the work order and approval of $5,011 per unit. That would entail adding additional steps to the cab of the unit. As we work through the ergonomics of getting in and out of the vehicle, we felt that there was a significant height that a firefighter in full turnout gear and SCBA would have to move through, especially some of the shorter folks might have some problems. That's $3,500 per unit. In the inside, there's an EMS light that we want to add a second light to the EMS cabinet to improve the functionality of that. On the passenger side of the pump panel, we want to change the layout of that panel that provides some better protection for the pump apparatus itself. The industry standard is on the truck, but we don't feel that that is something that will promote the longevity and maintenance use of the truck. And then the third one is 2 swivel stops on a front discharge intake that will keep the hose from coming around and touching the sides of the cab. So collectively, it's $5,011 per unit. There are 3 units, so it's $15,033. We believe we have sufficient funding in our current CIP to cover that. We just need your authorization for the change.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Michelle Gordon, County Administrator.
Thank you. I did attend several meetings over the last 2 weeks. I attended the overdose prevention team meeting that was hosted by the Washington County Health Department. I attended Land Use Council, Home Builders Association meeting, University System of Maryland Hagerstown Campus Board meeting. I did attend the Veterans Day ceremonies at Marty Snook Park with my husband. I attended a meeting with officials from MDOT and MDTA. I'd like to thank Senator Quarterman for facilitating this meeting, and it was related to I-81 toll, potential for tolls. Just to piggyback on some of the things that Commissioner Kiefer said, I just wanted to reassure Commissioner Kiefer and the public that any decisions related to this would not be done without an updated NEPA and Pell study. The last study was done in 2004. That study would look at traffic counts. It would look at potential diversion onto local roads. It would look at potential location for any tolling facilities, things like that. Looking for discounts for Maryland residents with the Easy Pass, and if tolls are located at the state lines versus at every exit, local traffic wouldn't necessarily be impacted by a toll. So all of those things were taken into consideration, and those things would be evaluated further before any decisions are made. Also attended the RMI MEP Manufacturing Stars Celebration Dinner with our Economic and Business Development Department. I did attend the retirement party for Bud Goodmanson. I'd like to congratulate him on 44 years of service and on this next chapter in his life. I did attend a meeting yesterday with Nebraska officials, also officials from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They took a tour of Kilpatrick Woods here in Hagerstown in that model manufactured home neighborhood. Our next meeting is next week on November the 26th. And I also attended the grand opening of Ruth's Market and Sweet Notes Bakery. And that's everything that I have.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other staff comments at this point? Hearing none, we'll move right into citizens' participation, and I'd like to once again read the rules of engagement for citizens' participation statement. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment about an issue or issues of county practices and interests. This is not an interactive dialogue or question and answer session. It is solely time to hear from our citizens and their respective comments. And we, once again, please, we ask you limit your remarks to 3 minutes or less. So, first row. Beth? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Beth Harvey, Smithsburg, Maryland, President of the Washington County Commission for Women. I'm joined today with members of the commission, Elise Weber, our treasurer, Skyla Heiss, and Karen Hayes. And we wanted to give you an update that as part of our charter to celebrate the accomplishments of women in Washington County. We're the lead partner of TEDx Hagerstown Women. That will be on December 10th at HCC. The audience application closes next week, so anyone interested in attending, we would encourage the audience to apply at tedxhagerstownwomen.com. And a few partnerships are still available if any members of the community or businesses wanted to support the event. That's all.
Do you want to elaborate on what TEDx is, actually? So I think some people probably doesn't realize what it is.
So if you've ever watched a TED Talk, which, come with big ideas, focused in technology, entertainment, design, TEDx is an independently, locally planned event to bring big ideas to a community on a smaller scale. So it's a live audience of 100, and we do have capacity to live stream it on YouTube. So we've had over 1,000 people watching it in the last year. And so this is a way to amplify ideas from local business owners, entrepreneurs, thinkers, and stimulate conversation around our area. So we have 3 women from Washington County and 3 regional Maryland women that will be taking the stage this year. And then the cool part about this is because it is affiliated with TED, that the talks then go into the online TED website, and so the ideas can keep going out. And so we've seen a lot of interest. Sometimes it takes years for those talks to hit 1 million views, but we're able to continue to elevate big thinkers in Washington County on a global scale.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the front row? Second row? Morning.
Morning. My name is Billy Woods. I'm address 12210 Bucky Avenue, and I am the Vice President at IFF Local 1605.
Keith Hose, firefighter, fire apparatus operator with Division of Emergency Services.
Mark Kopp, firefighter, FAO, Division of Emergency Services.
So, Commissioners, once again, coming before you to discuss the welfare of the fire rescue service in Washington County. As you know, I've been here several times, sent many emails, and agree that, we've seen progress, specifically with, Chief Hayes and Jacobs mentioning the reserve engines coming and the merging of the 3 EMS stations, as well as the reserve ambulances coming along. We made significant progress. But, I wanted to stress that there's a lot more work to be done still, especially with our staffing. Just out of recruit class 1 that you all came to graduation 3.5 years ago, there's only about half of us left. Our attrition rate is something that we desperately need to work on, especially with our staffing. We have stations that currently have a single person in it during the day, and that's just something that's very unsafe and that we need to continue to work on. And while we appreciate all the things that we've done over the last several years, I want to stress that there's still more work to be done, and we need your support and support of the county government to do that. That's all we have. We look forward to working with you more. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Second row? Third row? Good morning, Carol.
I'm Carol Mowen, President of the Washington County Teachers Association, located on Oak Ridge Drive in Hagerstown. This week is American Education Week, founded in 1919 when early 20th century leaders were concerned that, quote, 25% of the country's World War I draftees were illiterate and 9% were physically unfit. Representatives of the National Education Association and the American Legion met to seek ways to generate public support for public education. Since then, we've seen many changes in our public schools that have made them more accessible and rigorous. I hope that this week you will take the time to talk directly with teachers, support personnel, and administrators who work for the Washington County Public Schools to both thank them for their service and to ask them what they need from you to ensure that our schools can provide the educational services needed to achieve our mission, to educate and empower each student to achieve independence and contribute to a diverse and evolving society. In addition, on behalf of our over 1,400 WCTA members, I extend my thanks to Commissioner Kiefer for spending the Tuesday, October 29th date visiting schools. I arranged for Commissioner Kiefer to meet with the principals at Clear Spring Elementary, Clear Spring Middle, Clear Spring High, Salem Avenue Elementary, and Western Heights Middle School, and to visit classrooms to see our educators and students at work. We very much appreciate this time with us and his willingness to hear directly from us regarding the everyday challenges and successes we experience when providing educational services to Washington County students and families. I hope that each of you will contact me to arrange for a visit to one or more schools this year so that you too can see how the school's size, student population, funding sources, and other specifics impact each school community so that you can more fully understand the complexities that our school administrators navigate. One of our challenges is staffing. Currently, we do not have enough substitutes to provide the coverage needed when teachers, paraprofessionals, and support personnel are absent. This means that teachers are regularly required to either take additional students in their classes or give up their limited planning time that they have in the day to cover classes, and that support personnel are tasked with additional duties to ensure that schools are able to operate. We also have dozens of unfilled support personnel positions and do not have candidates for the jobs because the wages offered are not competitive. Hourly wages at Sheetz and Amazon for the county, and even for the county's hourly employees, are much, much higher, and it is difficult for us to attract and retain the employees needed to fully staff our schools. And finally, thank you for considering the school system's request for the allocation of one-time capital funds for visitor management software and for the replacement of 3 school buses on today's agenda. I hope that you will vote to provide these funds as requested and also consider additional ways that you can fully support our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Third row, fourth row.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your service to the community. Stephanie Phillips, Hagerstown, Maryland. Thank you, veterans and your family members, for your service and sacrifice. Washington County's greatest challenge is now answered, as it is our role in securing the state, the country, humanity, and the planet, which begins one person, one family, and one neighborhood at a time. I'd like to suggest historical landmark and preservation of the old YMCA and the Dagmar to both be utilized in our rebranding as a Wounded Warriors College Town revitalization model, along with Berkeley County, West Virginia, overcoming many past challenges. Regarding the January 10, 2024 incident, no backboarding at scene. No one asked if I could wiggle my fingers or toes. I requested a hospital not to be moved until test results were reported. I should have been catheterized and kept overnight. No discussion of advanced directives. My body is to be donated to the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda for brain and spinal cord research when I expire. No crutches, referrals, or bandages were given at discharge. Most importantly, I am grateful to the trauma team for military-style triage, repositioning my foot in the correct position. Otherwise, I think I would be in a wheelchair. I don't appreciate my condition being misrepresented or minimized. It was 6 weeks before I was confident I'd live and be able to testify as a federal whistleblower in a not yet filed racketeering case is still being processed. We probably all have the same insurance conflict of interest. There is fraud going on, but I'm not it. There's possibly 1 ambulance crew, 2 insurance handlers, 1 traffic camera manual override operator, 1 military intelligence hacker who could be benefited by retraining and possible relocation due to not properly supporting the dedicated professionals of Meritus Hospital and its missions and the mission of national security. Ask is please restore my family and associates' credibility and rights. 2, please try to provide more affordable micro-unit studios and 1 and 2 bedrooms for all. Please speak to my husband regarding family restitution and funding for affected jurisdictions such as yours who have been adversely affected from federal government infrastructure plan and generous donations from nonprofits and for-profit organizations. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. 4th row, 5th row. No other citizens' participation this morning? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move right into our list of items this morning. Presentation of the June 30th, 2024 audited financial statements.
So we were just notified that the independent auditor is not able to make it today. So if you will have to reschedule the independent auditor's portion of this. If you would like, we can go ahead and proceed with staff's portion of the presentation, or we can reschedule that as well.
Your thoughts? I mean, should we just?
I'm thinking we should do it all at once.
I think we should do it all at once.
Bill, yeah. Okay, let's just, sorry, Kelsey, we'll just,
That's all right, on the next item on the agenda anyway.
okay, so, okay, very good. We'll move along then and reschedule that particular audited financial statement presentation. Next item is FY25 funding request, Board of Education.
Good morning, Kelsey Mace, Chief Financial Officer. Staff has received 2 requests from the Board of Education for one-time capital funding. The first request is for $225,000 to support the purchase of visitor management software and the necessary hardware, which includes tablets and badge printers. This software does scans of an individual's government-issued ID prior to allowing them access to the building. This will allow WCPS the ability to keep individuals with concerning backgrounds from entering schools. The majority of school systems in the state have implemented this type of software. The second request is for $422,910 for the replacement of 3 school buses. WCPS replaces approximately 15 school buses annually. The total request is $647,910 and could be taken from capital reserves.
I just have one curious question. On the school buses, are they internal combustion like diesel or gas, and they're not electric, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, ready to vote. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is contract award 1707 for gasoline and diesel fuel deliveries. Randy Noggle, good morning.
The first recommendation I have for you this, I'm sorry, Brandy Noggle, Byron, the Purchasing Department. The first recommendation I have for you this morning is the contract award PUR 1707 for gasoline and diesel fuel deliveries. Move to award the bids for gasoline and diesel fuel deliveries, transport deliveries under 4 separate contracts to the responsible bidders who submitted the lowest bids. The first award would be for the gasoline tank wagon deliveries. That would be James River Solutions out of Ashland, Virginia. The second contract would be for gasoline transport deliveries. That would be to Petroleum Traders Corporation out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. The third contract would be diesel tank wagon deliveries. Again, James River Solutions out of Ashland, Virginia. The fourth and final contract would be diesel transport deliveries to Petroleum Traders out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. The tabulation attached to the ARF contains the bids that were received on October 21st, 2024, based on a bid factor submitted by each vendor. The contract period is tentatively to begin December 1st, 2024, and end November 30th, 2025. The contracts are for a one-year term with no renewal allowed. This is a requirements contract, and the county guarantees no minimum or maximum order. The invitation to bid was advertised on the State of Maryland's website, the eMaryland Marketplace website, the county's website, the local newspaper, and the new online bidding site for the purchasing department. 35 companies downloaded the document, and 7 bids were received. The contract requirements are also for the City of Hagerstown, Washington County Public Schools, and the Hagerstown Community College. They will make their own separate recommendation for this award. Funding is available in various departments' operating budgets for fuel.
Motion? Discussion?
Second.
Discussion? You want? Oh, okay, I thought you wanted.
I was
Okay.
waiting for a second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the
Thank
floor. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Could we just get a copy? I don't have the bid tabulations in my agenda package. It looks like there might be a link, but with it being in PDF.
I'll send it.
Thank you.
Send it to everyone.
Okay, thank you. Next item is bid award, PUR 1708, swimming pool and wastewater treatment chemicals.
Randy Nagelmeyer in the purchasing department.
Mark Bradshaw, Director of Environmental Management.
The next recommendation I have for you is the bid award PUR 1708 swimming pool and wastewater treatment chemicals. Move to award the bids for swimming pool and wastewater treatment chemicals to the responsible bidders with the lowest bid for each item. There are 15 items, and it contains 5 different vendors that will be awarded. The county accepted bids on October 22nd, 2024 for the swimming pool and wastewater treatment chemical requirements for the county department, as well as the City of Hagerstown and the town of Boonesborough. The invitation to bid was advertised on the State of Maryland's eMaryland Marketplace website, the county's website, the local paper, and the new online bidding site for Washington County. 40 companies downloaded the document. We did receive 17 bids, 2 of which were deemed non-responsive. The term of this contract is for a period of 1 year, tentatively to begin December 1st, 2024, ending November 30th, 2025. There are no options to renew on this contract. The above recommendations are for the county. The city, the town of Boonesborough will make their own independent awards. Again, we guarantee no minimum or maximum on this contract. Funding is available in various accounts for the Department of Water Quality, Parks, and Recreation.
Okay.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Thank you. Next item is sole source procurement, PUR 1716, Keystone CAD interface.
Randy Nagelmeyer in the purchasing department.
James Mills, IT Administrator, Emergency Communications.
The last recommendation I have for you this morning is the sole source procurement, PUR 1716, Keystone CAD interface. Move to authorize a sole source procurement for CAD interface software maintenance and annual licensing fees used by the Division of Emergency Management and Communications in the amount of $129,185 from Keystone Public Safety out of Maple Shade, New Jersey. The Division of Emergency Management and Communications wishes to apply Sections 1-106.2A, 1 and 2 of the Code of Local Public Laws of Washington County, Maryland, to the procurement requested. This section states that a sole source procurement is authorized and permissible when only one source exists to meet the county's requirements. This request requires approval of 4 of 5 commissioners in order to proceed with the sole source procurement. The above approval is for the software, maintenance, and annual licensing fees for the following systems within the Emergency Management and Communications Department: computer-aided dispatch licensing for Maine and the 911 Backup Center, which includes Keystone Client and Web Client. It also consists of CryWolf interface used for processing false alarm information and for billing. All other interface components are provided by outside software companies with the internal CAD system for the internal CAD system in order to complete call processing, dispatching, logging, mapping, reporting, and web accesses. Funding is available in the operating budget for this department in the amount of $287,620.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Ready to vote? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Brandy. Next item is certified rebuild of the Caterpillar 345BL excavator, purchase 1717. Morning, Dave.
Morning, Commissioners. Dave Mason with Washington County Department of Solid Waste. Here today for approval for the rebuild of the Caterpillar 345BL excavator. The excavator was purchased new in 2000, has 17,733 hours on it, which meets the county's vehicle replacement policy. The rebuild involves complete overhaul of the entire machine, electronics, mechanical, frame, structural repairs. And since Carter Machinery is the regional dealer, they will complete the work. They are offering finance over a 2-year period at a fixed rate of 6.44%, 2 payments of $264,604.05. Direct savings to the county is that the new one wouldn't cost over $1 million. So this was a reasonable option to save ourselves.
Dave, I mean, it sort of makes sense, but is, being it certified, what kind of warranty do they give with that over? There's no warranty?
Like brand new.
Oh, brand new warranty then? And what's,
I
okay,
think it's
5
5 years.
years?
And Dave, just a question, or maybe it's for someone else, but we're going to finance this over 2 years instead of, and pay 6.44% instead of just using our reserves for what is essentially a purchase for a capital item?
Well, this is an enterprise fund, so the enterprise fund is responsible for funding that purchase. So it would be something that they budgeted for and planned in their operating budget.
And do we know what do they have a balance in their enterprise fund?
They do have a reserve balance. I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head, but I can get that for you.
Okay.
So who are we financing this through?
Through Caterpillar.
Okay. Just kind of to piggyback off of Commissioner Harvey's comments, I doubt we're earning 6.44% on our own money. That's a decent interest rate for a deposit that I don't think exists right now. Could we finance it through ourselves, through the county? Have the enterprise fund finance it through us, and the county earns that interest rather than Caterpillar?
Well, the county typically isn't supposed to make money off of the enterprise fund, so we would have to impute an interest rate, but it wouldn't be 6.44%. It would be a much lower rate, and we typically don't do that type of financing for our other funds. We've only done it one other time that I can recall, and it was because the terms of the contract with the finance company were not what we were expecting them to be. They had some terms that we couldn't agree to. So typically, we would encourage, or we would prefer that the enterprise fund do their financing on their own through a separate company.
That brought me to a question now. So it's 6.5% interest to finance it. What about do we earn? We had quite a bit of revenue on our money we invested last year. What do we earn on that?
The interest rates that we earned last year were between 5% and 6%, I believe. So we didn't earn quite as much as this would be, so. But they typically aren't that high. Interest rates that we earn are typically less than 1%.
I understand it better now. I'm fine with going forward like this. I motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second on the floor for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
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 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Intergovernmental Cooperative Purchase 24-0170, lease/purchase for one new D7 Caterpillar dozer.
Morning, Rick Curry, Director of Purchasing. So before you intergovernmental cooperative purchase, INTG 24-0170 for lease purchase of one new D7 Caterpillar dozer. Recommended motion to authorize by resolution Department of Solid Waste to lease purchase one D7 Caterpillar dozer from Caterpillar Finance Services Corporation with an annual payment amount of $201,178.69. for the total sum of $882,268, and to authorize to use another jurisdiction contract 011723-CAT that was awarded by Sourcewell to Caterpillar Incorporated. The Code of Public Laws of Washington County does allow for this board to participate in the goods and services of another jurisdiction as long as we abide by the terms and conditions of the contract, and there is a cost savings by doing so. Under the discussion, it talks about relieving a 2002 John Deere 850C bulldozer, but I've been informed that that's not what they're going to be relinquishing. It's going to be a articulated truck.
Well, we're trading that on the next.
Okay, so what you gonna get on this one?
No trade-in.
No trade on this? All right, okay. Also, the funds are budgeted in the department's budget, and we have concurrence from the division director. I did not put the budget amount in there, but I can get that information. Any questions?
I do have just a question. Okay, so this is to replace the 2000, this is to replace the 2002?
He's not gonna replace
No, we're not
anything.
replacing. That one was replaced, I think, 5 years ago.
Okay,
So we're not replacing anything with this machine. We are adding it to the fleet.
okay, I got it. Okay, thank you. I was just reading in the discussion, I wasn't clear on the discussion point about an estimated cost of $40,000 for a piece of equipment, 850C, that had a value of $20,000. And if it's separate, then fine. I motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second on the floor for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0, thank you. Intergovernmental Cooperative Purchase 24-0169, lease purchase for one articulated truck for the Solid Waste Department.
Again, Rick Curry, Director of Purchasing. Subject to intergovernmental cooperative purchase, lease purchase for one articulated truck for solid waste. Recommended motion to authorize by resolution the Solid Waste Department to purchase one Caterpillar 735-4 articulated truck from Caterpillar Finance Services Corporation of Nashville, Tennessee, with an annual payment of $169,014.70 for a total sum of $761,074, and to utilize another jurisdiction contract number 011723 that was awarded by Sourcewell to Caterpillar Incorporated. Solid Waste Department's question to purchase a 735 Ford articulated truck to replace vehicles that exceed the county's vehicle equipment guidelines. Code of Public Law does allow for this body to participate in the procurement of goods and services through another jurisdiction as long as we abide by the contract as awarded, and there is a benefit of doing so. Fiscal impact, you can see the funds are available for this purchase, and alternatives if you decide not to award the purchase. Any questions?
Yeah, you know, it's, I do have a question. We keep seeing exceed the county's vehicle and equipment types and usage guidelines. I get that, but, you know, that statement sometimes drives me crazy because 2 minutes ago, we exceeded that guideline, but we rebuilt one and saved $500,000. That's not an option on everything, or?
No, not everything can be rebuilt. And sometimes it's just based on the condition of the equipment when we go to get it rebuilt. The excavator was in good shape, so it was an option to get rebuilt. This articulated dump truck is 23 years old.
Okay,
We've already had the engine and transmission rebuilt in it once,
okay, gotcha.
so it's just kind of beyond its reasonable life.
All right. Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval on the floor. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is intergovernmental cooperative purchase, 24-0168, one rescue squad.
Good morning, Eric Jacobs, Assistant Director of Emergency Services.
Rick Curry, Director of Purchasing. Subject intergovernmental intergovernmental purchase for one rescue squad. Recommended motion moved by, to authorize a resolution for Fire EMS Division of Emergency Services to purchase one Enforcer MW1 Rescue Squad in an amount of $1,624,684. If paid in full, the total sale price is $1,396,684 from Atlantic Emergency Solutions of Manassas, Virginia. And to utilize another jurisdiction contract was awarded by Houston Galveston Area Council, contract number FS 1223 to Atlantic Emergency Solutions Incorporated. The acquisition of the rescue squad will allow the Division of Emergency Services to replace an aging rescue squad in order to respond promptly and effectively when managing emergency incidents. Within Washington County, this vehicle is considered to be a critical asset in the efforts of public safety role to protect life and property. The Code of Public Laws does allow for this body to proceed with goods and services of a contract is awarded through another jurisdiction, as long as we abide by the contract terms and conditions, which we are doing so. You can see the fiscal impact for this and the concurrences and the attachment for the quote. Questions?
So basically, these are reserve fleet, basically?
This will not be a reserve unit. This will be a primary response vehicle.
Okay.
And specifically assigned to Station 10, which is the Funkstown Fire Station. However, it's a county asset, and we can redeploy it if necessary.
Any other questions? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. 5-0. Next item is the intergovernmental cooperative purchase 24-0172, 2 brine tanks for the Highways Department.
Again, Rick Curry, Director of Purchasing.
Zane Rao, Deputy Director of Highways. If I could take a minute, I'd like to personally thank Rick for all of his help through the years. I think I started working with Rick in 1989. A lot of good conversations, a lot of good help. Had some good laughs. We worked with some characters, but I appreciate all your help.
Ready? For you, the subject intergovernmental cooperative purchase INTG 240172 for 2 brine tanks for the Highway Department. Recommended motion by authorized resolution, the Highway Department to purchase 2 Henderson brine tanks for the total sum of $62,378 from Stevenson Equipment Incorporated of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and to utilize another jurisdiction's contract number 080818-HPI that was awarded by Sourcewell. Highway Department is requesting to purchase 2 brine tanks. The brine tanks were water solution we use for snow removal. Talks about the use of brine tanks versus regular salt. The Code of Public Laws does allow for this body to participate for the procurement of goods and services as long as we abide by the contract. In the discussion, it talks about the breakdown of the prices of the tanks to give you a total sum and the fiscal impact. There is funding for this project, and we have concurrence. Questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second on the floor for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
How big is a brine tank?
These are going to be, I think, 1275 or 13.
Gallons?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next item is approval/signature of updated and reissued business permit for Allegiant Airlines. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning. Andrew Eshelman, Director of Public Works. Neil Doran, Airport Director. Come before you this morning, this time again to reissue an updated business permit to Allegiant Airlines to cover a 2-year period that would begin on July 1st of next year, 2025, and run through June 30th, 2027. We've had good negotiations with Allegiant Airlines, and they've agreed to increase the rate that they pay the airport on a per-flight basis and an annual basis. We're still keeping their costs competitively low, and comparative with other similarly situated airports in the Allegiant system. The agreement has been signed and witnessed by Allegiant representatives, but this reflects an increase to help the airport with its annual expenses at no less than $73,548.02 in additional annual revenue at our current activity levels. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on the agreement. We do need a signature from President Barr and one of our county attorneys in addition to my signature to fully execute the document.
My understanding is Allegiant's increasing their flights in and out of HGR either now or soon.
They are. Yes, recently
Good
the
news.
schedule came out for the summer season, and we had a net increase of 18 flights for those 4 months.
That's through Labor Day weekend, more or less.
Good.
They release it in segments.
Do we know when the Myrtle Beach flight starts and stops? Have they announced that yet?
It starts, yes.
Yes, it's going to start there in May, as it typically has. But the growth to 4 flights a week for Myrtle Beach, they're bringing that back around again. So it's positive. It's continual incremental growth.
Good.
Motion to approve.
Good. Second?
Second.
Okay. Motion is second on the floor for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you,
you.
gentlemen. Approval of zoning map amendment RZ 24-002. Morning, Aaron.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm here for the application rezoning 24002. Applicants John and Lisa Haltman requested a zoning map amendment for approximately 6.82 acres of land located in Clear Spring, Maryland. The land is currently zoned agricultural rural, but the applicants are seeking a rural business overlay to continue with some of the economic pursuits they have on the property. On September 9th, the Planning Commission recommended granting the requested rezoning. On October 15th, following a public hearing, this board reached a consensus to approve the rezoning. The board is now presented with proposed findings of fact and conclusions of law and a corresponding ordinance prepared by the county's attorney's office.
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay. Motion and second for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Very good. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion to go into closed session for the following reasons and outlined in more detail on the agenda cover sheet. To discuss confidential personnel matters, consider the acquisition of real property, consider a matter that may concern the proposal for a business or industrial organization, consult with staff about pending and potential litigation, and conduct collective bargaining negotiations.
Motion to approve going into closed session with a 5-minute recess.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Second, I meant. Yep, second.
All in favor?
Yep.
Aye. Thank you.